We'll call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. I want to acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory and the land on which we are meeting is the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Red River Métis Nation. As a council and a municipality, we will continue to work on moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in the spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. I'll ask for a motion for the adoption of the minutes, please.
Resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held at City Hall on April 13th, 2026 be adopted as circulated.
Moved by Councillor Nichols, seconded by Councillor Doyle. All those in favor? And that is carried. We have no delegations this evening. I'll move to open public hearing for the 2026 financial plan and first reading of tax levy bylaw 26-8787. Councillor Massey? Sure. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Your Worship, Mayor Knox, councillors, and everybody else. Thanks for coming here this evening. This is our public hearing, which is an important process in our budget process. It gives the residents an opportunity to understand how the city plans to fund services and invest in the community in 2026. Tonight's presentation focuses on transparency, something our council really believes in and has practiced, how your tax dollars are used, how decisions align with council's strategic plan, and how we're planning not just for this year, but for the long-term sustainability of Portage la Prairie. So let's talk about the 2026 mill rate. For properties with no change in assessment, the municipal tax increase this year is 3.21%. as we outlined in the budget speech. This increase reflects rising operating costs while allowing the city to maintain service levels without reductions. And I think that's an important point. We are not cutting services to reach our targets. For eligible homeowners, the homeowner's affordability tax credit is increasing to a maximum of $1,600. This credit applies only to residential properties that are the owner's primary residence and is applied directly to the education portion of the tax bill. This helps reduce the overall impact for qualifying households. And I should mention, these are provincial policies. These are not city policies, they are provincial decisions and policies. So let's take a look at the example. This slide provides practical examples of what increases on property tax statements will look like for a typical residential and commercial properties. These examples reflect the full property tax bill, including the education portion, which is why the dollar impact differs from the municipal increase discussed earlier. So for a residential home assessed at $250,000, that is eligible for the homeowner affordability tax credit, that's $1,600. The increase works out to about $90 per year, or roughly $8 per month. So that is your total tax bill for a home assessed at $250,000. These examples are meant to make the numbers more relatable and to show how council is balancing affordability with the need to fund essential services and infrastructure. Let's talk about general revenue. This slide shows where the city's general operating revenue comes from. And as you can see, property taxes remain the largest source of our revenue, but they are only one part of the overall picture. We also rely on government grants, services, fees, and other relevant revenue sources. But you can see the two big ones are property taxes and grants from other levels of government. Having a diversified revenue mix is important for financial stability. It helps reduce pressure on property taxes and allows the city to continue delivering services while planning responsibly for future needs. But what about expenses? Where does the city of Portage la Prairie spend on the general side in terms of our expenses? Well, here we see how general operating funds are spent across city services. The largest areas include protective services, transportation, recreation, and general government. These categories reflect the day-to-day services residents rely on, such as fire protection, snow clearing, road maintenance, and parks. This allocation supports Council's strategic plan by prioritizing safety, quality of life, and reliable core services while also ensuring we manage costs responsibly. Now we'll turn to the utility side. As I've always said, we have two sides to the city operation, a general side, which I've just covered, and now the utility side. The utility fund operates separately from the city's general budget and is funded primarily through water and wastewater user rates across the region. This includes residential, commercial, industrial, and regional customers. A significant portion of utility revenue also comes from government grants, particularly for major capital projects like the water treatment plant upgrade. This approach allows the city to invest in critical infrastructure while keeping utility operations financially sustainable over the long term. What about expenses on the utility side? Utility expenses include the operation and maintenance of water and wastewater systems, transfers to reserves, and contributions towards major capital projects. The largest expense shown here relates to capital investment, particularly the water treatment plant upgrade. This reflects Council's long-term commitment to maintaining safe, reliable utility services that support growth, environmental responsibility, and regulatory compliance. Turn to capital projects now. In 2026, the city is planning approximately $7 million in general capital projects and over $100 million in utility capital projects. These investments are funded through a combination of reserves, grants, and debt financing. Capital planning is a key part of financial sustainability. By spreading the costs over time and leveraging external funding, the city can renew infrastructure while managing long-term financial risk. That's very important. And that's why City of Portage has always been very good at getting other levels of government to help us pay for major infrastructure. General capital projects include road improvements, vehicle and equipment replacements, and building maintenance. These projects focus on maintaining existing assets and ensuring city facilities remain safe and functional. You can see the list there. Investing in maintenance today helps avoid larger, more costly repairs in the future and supports consistent service delivery across departments. So we are renewing and fixing our infrastructure, just like your home, to avoid bigger issues down the road. Now, I want to talk about our roadway infrastructure investment. I think this is something that I know our council did, and I'm very proud of this piece of our financial plan. This slide highlights the continuation of council's multi-year roadway investment strategy. In 2026, an additional, and I underline the word additional, $700,000 from the Canadian Community Building Fund, the old federal gas tax program, brings total road investment to approximately $1.4 million. That is for our roads here in Portage la Prairie, to fix the potholes, to resurface, and in some cases totally renew the road. This increase in investment is achieved without adding pressure to property taxes. There is no property tax increase associated with this increase. It supports safer roads, improved transportation, and long-term asset management. So we have a commitment that we made over the number of years to invest in our roads. Green space investment priority plan, another one that Council looked forward in a very proactive way. Council continues to invest in parks and playgrounds as part of its commitment to quality of life. In 2026, funding is allocated to upgrade playgrounds at Provista, 9th Street Northwest, and Island Park. These improvements ensure recreational spaces remain safe, accessible, and welcoming for families, and align directly with our strategic plan that focuses on enhancing green spaces and community well-being. Now I want to talk about service enhancement and program support. First of all, Crescent Lake. The Crescent Lake vegetation management strategy includes the purchase of 2 aquatic harvesters and seasonal staffing to support their operation. This work allows the city to actively manage vegetation growth and maintain water quality at Crescent Lake, which is an important recreational and environmental asset for the community. And I just want to say, we heard from our residents about Crescent Lake and how important it is, and we acted as a council. Those investments are there to keep our beautiful Crescent Lake clean and an environmental benefit for our city. Investments in the Community Safety Office directly supports Council's strategic plan priority of community safety and well-being. As the program has grown, the city has acquired a building that now meets operational needs and added administrative support to ensure officers can focus on frontline work. That's where the public wants to see them, out in the front lines. Funding is also included for an in-car laptop which supports officers in their daily duties. Utility capital projects include a range of equipment replacements and system components that are essential to the safe and reliable operation of water and wastewater services. Each item plays a specific role in maintaining system performance and regulatory compliance. Replacing this equipment on a planned basis helps prevent service disruptions, supports staff safety, and ensures the utility system continues to operate as intended. Now, utility upgrading, a big part of this financial plan. The water treatment plant upgrade and expansion focuses on improving reliability and meeting regulatory requirements. The expansion will provide modest additional headroom beyond current demand to maintain a practical buffer. This helps ensure dependable service as the community evolves. We're also going to have work continuing on planning upgrades to the water pollution control facility to ensure the city meets its environmental responsibilities. The ultraviolet disinfection system replacement is being advanced at this time because the existing system is obsolete and no longer supported. Advancing this component now ensures continued compliance with the city's Environment Act license while broader upgrades are planned. Very important piece of our utility. Community grants. I think we've talked about this at budget time and those decisions made by council, and it's so great to see this council has approved $2.6 million to community grants and related organizations. These funds support a wide range of programs that enhance quality of life, from social services to arts, culture, and recreation. Community partnerships are a vital part of how the city delivers services, and supports residents beyond what municipal programs alone can provide. I'm very proud to be part of a council that gives this money to those organizations that help us make a better city for Portage la Prairie. I want to now turn to our employees. And it goes without saying, I think our city employees are central to delivering services and maintaining infrastructure. In 2026, the city has 153 full-time and part-time employees with an annual payroll of approximately $9.9 million. That's the employees of the city of Portage la Prairie. 3 new positions are being added in 2026. One, a community safety office administrative clerk. It's going to help that office even have the boots on the ground even more effectively and efficiently to have that administrative support. A utility administrative clerk, and 1 additional seasonal position. These roles support growing service demands and ensure programs approved by council can be delivered effectively. We're doing the hiring of these so we can deliver programs to our residents. There's no point approving programs if we don't have the staff to deliver them, and we are adding these staff to make our programs and services deliverable to our residents in an efficient manner. Outstanding debt. The city's debt plan is included with the 10-year capital plan. This slide provides high-level context on the city's debt position. All municipal borrowing is regulated and requires provincial approval, ensuring strong oversight and accountability, and is used to support long-term capital investments rather than day-to-day operations. The next slide outlines the tools available to help residents understand their property taxes. By reviewing assessed values and using the city's tax calculator, residents can estimate their 2026 taxes in advance. Great tool for our residents to see very clearly what their property taxes will be. Providing clear, accessible information is part of our commitment to transparency and helping residents make informed decisions. And that's a great thing for this council, to be that transparent with how we operate. So what are the next steps? Following the public hearing, which is tonight, council will move toward approval of the financial plan and tax levy bylaw. Once approved, the plan is submitted to the province and tax statements are issued in early June. Taxes are due at the end of July, and staff remain available to answer questions throughout the process. All key budget documents, including the financial plan and the budget speech, are available on the city's website, along with tools to help residents understand their taxes. We encourage anyone with questions to review these resources or reach out to city staff. Your participation and feedback are an important part of the budget process. I want to conclude now with just a couple of things. First of all, I want to thank my council colleagues for the excellent work you have done in bringing this plan forward. I want to thank Mayor Knox. This is the last financial plan we have before our term ends. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be finance chair. It has been a privilege and an honor to do that for our council and for our residents. And lastly, something I haven't done up to now, but I really want to thank our finance team. They are an incredible dedicated staff that deal with the public, see the front lines of the complaints, and most importantly, they manage our money in a very effective manner. When I was at AMM, it was amazing how many municipalities have problems with the finances. The audits aren't going good. Money doesn't seem to be accounted for properly. We've passed every audit with flying colors. We continue to have, and as finance chair, I just want to publicly thank our finance team for the excellent work they've done. It's been a privilege working with them as your finance chair. We should be very proud of this financial plan. This is our last one. And my view is we've made a difference in our community over the last 4 years. We've made Portage stronger, economically growing, and sustainable. And we've done this all with keeping in mind the citizens' ability to pay. I think we've been very reasonable in what taxes we have had to levy. I look forward to our discussions and just want to say this community we call home at Portage la Prairie, the home that we all love, is going to continue to be sustainable and growing into the future. And we should all be very proud of that. It is the city of possibilities. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Massey. And I think I can speak on behalf of council that you in that role has been excellent. You've worked hard for not only helping all of us understand the financial, but you've done a really great job of making sure that the public understands it. So thank you for that. Excellent. Okay, I'll ask if there is anyone here to speak against our financial plan. Again, I'll ask if anyone is here to speak against our financial plan. I'll ask if anyone is here to speak in favor of our financial plan. Again, anyone here to speak in favor of our financial plan? And lastly, I'll ask if anyone who has questions about our financial plan. Seeing none, I will ask for a motion to close our public hearing. Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Your Worship. I would move that the public hearing for the 2026 financial plan and the tax levy bylaw 26-8787 now be closed.
Moved by Councillor Massey, seconded by Councillor Meyer. All those in favor? That's carried. Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Your Worship. Maybe you want to take back those remarks you made about me. I don't know.
I reversed. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you, Your Worship and colleagues. You have before you the report to council. I'm not going to rehash a lot of the things because they were covered, I think, in the presentation. You can read the different parts of our mill rate and so on and so forth. So I would then just move that bylaw number 26-8787, being a bylaw of the City of Portage la Prairie, to authorize the levying and raising of property taxes for school board and municipal purposes for the 3-year ending December 31, 2026, be given first reading.
Moved by Councillor Massey, seconded by Councillor Meyer. Any questions or comments, council? Nothing? Councillor Nichols?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd just like to take a moment to first off thank Councillor Massey in delivering what is a clear, concise tabling of a budget. And thanks to our most energetic and thoughtful, not to mention professional financial team and group. They keep these numbers clear, concise, and very well understood, and it just coincides with everything in our strategic direction, what we're going for, and what we hope to obtain. You know, you see great things such as the lake and all this stuff that we've discussed and had plans for come to fruition in this budget with a very, very responsible increase. And for that, I thank and I support this going forward. Thanks for that time.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'll just comment too, you know, thanks to our city manager and our finance team for the excellent work. I mean, you helped me understand it all, so I really appreciate that. And I know that you look at it as a lens from not only the finance admin team, but I know you look at it as the lens of residents too, and I think that that's very helpful when you help us make good decisions going forward. Thank you. Okay, all those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you, Councillor Massey. Okay, I'll open public hearing. Request for variation PC 26-26 for Lafreniere at 698 Tupper Street North. I'll ask if anyone is here to speak in favor of this application. I'll ask. if you could state your full name for the record, please.
Tim Lafreniere.
Perfect. Did you have a statement to make, or we're just here to answer questions if we have?
Well, if
them?
there's any question, I'll answer, I guess, if I have to, I guess, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I got no statement. No.
Perfect. Does anybody have questions for Mr. Lafreniere right now? We might call you later there,
Okay.
sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I'll ask if anyone else is here to speak in favor of the application. I'll ask if anyone is here to speak against this application. Again, anyone here to speak against? I'll ask if anyone is here that just has questions about this application. Okay, you're off the hook, Mr. Lafreniere. Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing. Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. Be it resolved, and I so move that the public hearing for variation PC 26-26 for Lafreniere at 698 Tupper Street now be closed.
Moved by Councillor Meyer, seconded by Councillor Nichols. All those in favor? And that is carried. Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. To the Planning and Economic Development Committee is file number PC-26-26. And the issue is to vary the front yard requirement of 7.5 meters down to 4.25 meters in an R1 or residential single family zone. So it is a request for a variation, and in your package you will see the site plan also up on the screen, and you'll also see a sketch of the affected property. The applicants, Tim and Roxanne Lafreniere, are applying for a variation order, and they just want to vary the front yard requirement, which is at 7.5, again down to 4.25, with the rationale is that they would like to build onto the dwelling and just keep the addition straight with the existing dwelling. The application has been circulated to various city departments. There have been no concerns. Public notices were sent to all property owners within a 100-meter radius, and as you can see, there have been no objections. With that said, and if there's no further questions, I so move that the Council of the City of Portage la Prairie approve the variation request of Tim and Roxanne Lafreniere to vary the front yard requirement of 7.5 meters down to 4.25 meters in an R1 residential single-family zone at the property known as 698 Tupper Street North, which is legally described as lots 896, 897, Plan 66 in the parish of Portage la Prairie.
Moved by Councillor Meyer, seconded by Councillor Nichols. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Okay, Finance, Legislative and Property Committee, Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Your Worship. Finance, Legislative and Property Committee has no report.
Thank you. City Planning and Economic Development Committee, Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. City Planning and Economic Development Committee has nothing to report.
Thank you. Community Services Committee, Councillor Espy.
Thank you, Your Worship. Nothing for this portion of the meeting.
Thank you. Waterworks Committee, Councillor Nichols.
Thank you, Your Worship. Nothing in this portion of the meeting.
Thank you. Transportation Committee, Councillor Porter.
Thank you, Your Worship. Transportation has nothing to report.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee, Councillor Doyle.
Thank you, Your Worship. Public Safety Committee has nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. We have no items of deferred business. We'll move right into new business. We'll start with March building reports. City Planning and Economic Development, Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. And as Council knows, nothing else brings a ray of sunshine to my day like being able to read the actual building reports. Council, in front of you, as usual, you'll see building report both for the city and the RM, but I always refer to the combined report. Of course, we are a regional body, and we like to address it from that perspective. You're going to see some really good stuff on this, which has been the trend for the last number of years. Overall, the permits are up, and the value of the permits is almost about about 40% more than where it was at this time last year. A couple of things just to point out. You'll see that there's a couple of new single home permits that were there. Things I like to see is the repair permits. That basically means that, again, residential homeowners are investing back into their homes And more importantly, they're actually calling the planning district first to find out maybe what they actually need to do, which is really a strong recommendation. Once again, it's a lot easier to ask for permission than it is to beg forgiveness, and we don't want to see or be penal to any of our citizens in that position. Getting into the commercial, you'll see the same trend continues as where it was last year. We've got some new permit. We've also got some repair permits as well. Biggest change you're going to see, of course, council, is in the industrial and institutional. Industrial specifically, there's not a lot of industrial stuff going on right now, but that doesn't mean that there isn't anything happening in the background. Institutional, you're going to see a couple of permits, and of course farm buildings, which we really don't talk with because they're more in the RM. But also you're going to see the, as I call it, a cottage industry, which is the RTM build and move, is up significantly as well. So with fear of repeating myself, 30 permits this year at 5.08 million compared to 27 permits last year at 2.7 million. And I do believe that the trend is going to continue throughout the year as you will continue to see a lot of the economic development that's going on within our community. So any questions, Your Worship?
None from me. Any questions from anyone? No? Not this time. Thank you, Councillor
Thank
Meyer.
you. That's my report.
Excellent. Okay, next item of new business, to award the tender for the supply of treatment chemicals for the water treatment plant. Councillor Nichols.
Thank you, Your Worship. And colleagues, what we have in front of us is we're going to work at awarding the tender for the supply of water treatment chemicals. So our issue is to award the 12-month contract for the supply of various chemicals for the water treatment plant as specified in tender number 26 OPS 061. So the administrative recommendation is to award the tender of the supply of the water treatment chemicals to the companies with the highest points as per the city's procurement policy. The tender was posted on Merck's website and electronically posted on the city website. 11 copies of the tender were sent out and 7 submissions were received. The tender closed at 2 p.m. on Tuesday, April 14th, and the tender followed the procurement process that incorporated sustainability and best value bid. The rated criteria was set at 10% for sustainability factors and 90% for pricing, contributing to the total point value. The administrative recommendation indicates the bidders with the highest rating for each chemical. Now there's a wonderful list of 12 chemicals here, and I have pronounced them in the past, but I'm not going to do it tonight. I want you to know that, that there's some really good work that was done here in terms of procurement, and the 12 chemicals are listed, and they were tendered individually. The contract is to supply the water treatment plant chemicals for a 12-month period from June 1st, 2026 to May 31st, 2027, and will be issued for each chemical individually. Bidders required to guarantee submitted prices until May 31st of 2027. Some chemicals are only shipped in bulk quantities. In some cases, we must purchase more than required for the quantity. For other chemicals, we will have significant inventory on site and a 12-month supply has not been tendered. This result is the estimated cost indicated differing from the tender price. The tender states that the quantities indicated are for comparison purposes only, and the city does not guarantee quantities to be purchased. The total combined cost for the 2026 tender chemicals is $2,522,709, and the budgeted amount was $3,150,677. So our alternatives are to award the tender for these chemicals as the administrative recommendation or any other direction that council may provide. It's my recommendation, and I so move that the council of the city of Portage la Prairie award the contracts for the supply of treatment chemicals for the water treatment plant for a 12-month period as specified in tender 26 OPS 016 to the following companies for the respective chemical product and for their submitted tender price excluding GST. And they are as follows. There's a number of lists there and there's pricing beside it, and I so move.
Moved by Councillor Nichols, seconded by Councillor Porter. Any questions? Nobody wants to ask about a certain chemical that they can't pronounce? No?
For manganate?
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, all those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item of new business, it's our quarterly report for information only. So we'll start with City Planning and Economic Development, Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. And I really feel that this report should always become before the building permit report. Because I think the building permit report is a direct result of a lot of the economic development work that's going on with our community. Our Director of Economic Development, Eve O'Leary, is not able to be with us tonight. So I'm going to kind of just summarize the report. And if there's any questions, we can certainly deal with it at that point as well. We do know that economic development is not reflective of brick and mortar buildings, but we do know that that's a big part of it and typically the end result in a lot of cases. But typically economic development is more creating the environment for both the RM and the City of Portage la Prairie. And we call it really a one-stop concierge service that has a regional perspective for the City, of course, of Portage and then the RM of Portage as well. For those that don't know, the board consists of 3 city councilors, 3 RM councilors, and 2 individuals at large. And we're going to run through just some of the highlights on this, and certainly feel free to stop me. You're going to see our team back up one page there for a second. Not the board, they're not that important. There's our team. We have Eve O'Leary, of course, as our Director of Economic Development. Anemiset Adenaya, who's our Economic Development Coordinator. And unfortunately, our tourism and marketing coordinator has moved on to a different position, and we are currently fulfilling that role as we speak. Moving ahead a couple of pages, you're going to see, if you get to the site, you're going to see that there's a lot of data, and that's really what economic development is about, specifically to our investors that are looking at our community. If anybody's looking for land inventory, they're looking for resources, they're looking for stocks, supply, whatever it is, this is really a one-stop shop that will give them all the details that they require in order to make an investment within our community. You're going to see it's broken into 6 targeted sectors. Of course, we have the aerospace sector, which is a great partnership also with Southport. We have the agri-food, which of course is a number of our industrial, whether it be the Simplots or the Roquettes of the world, and of course there's room for more. Our tourism sector, which we've really concentrated on, and we'll actually have some numbers for you on that of what it brings to GDP to our community. You're going to see the manufacturing, transportation, also agriculture and healthcare. So if you do hear that Portage is strongly a backed agriculture community, we are, but we're also a lot more diversified than you actually think. And each one of these brings investment within our community as well. Touch briefly on the business walks. As you know, the business walk group, as I'll call them, we try to get to as many businesses as we possibly can within a certain period of time. Gives us a chance to really talk with our business owners to really kind of get a grassroots from the ground level up aspect on what they think some of the challenges and some of the positives as well are within our community. So Pred does that. They do a heck of a job, and in that you're going to see that there's a link where you can read the full report on basically what's gone on with PERT, which is your Portage Economic Response Team. So, secondly, you can move to the next page, Work in Manitoba portal. Again, these are just some of the areas that Pred is involved in as well. Moving on to some of the success stories, you're going to see some of the vacancies filled within some new commercial businesses. You'll see the old Seasons building before, and then you'll see after the development, and my understanding is that each one of those commercial spaces are completely filled up. On the bottom part, you'll see our our newest development within the community, and I do want to just take a step back to really congratulate Dakota Teepee and Camare Developments for their grand opening on Friday of last week. I was not able to be there for the whole thing myself, but I really want to thank the mayor and the rest of council that was able to be there in order to help celebrate the opening of this really, really incredible facility. Anybody that's been in Portage a long time, walk down the avenue, it just completely changes the look of that whole west end. Add that into the Saskatchewan Avenue development, and it just really adds to the look as well. So once again, congratulations to them. You're going to see some more of that stuff as well. I won't get too much into the other things. Those were just some of the highlights. If you pass through the report, and the thing I really want to point out is that 8 years ago when I read the first Pred report, it was 1 page and about 4 paragraphs, right? Over a period of 8 years, you're going to see that this report now is over 20 pages. And we've gone from a department of 1 to a department of 3. You are going to certainly see that is a direct result of some of the economic impact that's gone on with our within our community. We of course, collaborate across the, well, it says across the nation, but we really work hard with RRM and Southport. In addition to, we do have a SETI partnership where we do work alongside our Indigenous partners as well, and we'll talk about the powwow here in a couple of minutes. The one thing that was pretty cool is the high potential at high school competitions, so it gives an opportunity for entrepreneurs in high school have the opportunity to show off a product, right? And I know people around this table have been judges in the past, and I think it's pretty cool to be able to see what some of these youth come up with. The rest of the stuff just kind of gets into a little bit of the things that we do. If you're talking to any kind of investors, it'll give us everything from what your data is, and I won't get into all of that stuff at this point. But the one thing I want to close on is our regional tourism. Regional tourism right now is probably one of the largest economic impacts that we actually have within our community. And I know that this organization, which is the Portage Regional Tourism Committee, has spent countless hours with countless partners trying to create whatever impact they can to be able to show off our community. I don't know exactly what the dollars are that we bring in, but if you just look at a lot of the events and the tourism events and so on going within our community, I think it just speaks for itself in that aspect. With that said, that's pretty much the end of it. It's just really cool to see exactly what that department is doing. And once again, I know it's regional. And once again, I am so thankful for our partnership with the RM and Southport. And I just know that the next port we're going to read is going to keep going that direction. Maybe it'll be 24 pages. And sorry, I know that was long-winded, but that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Okay. Community Services Committee, Councillor Espy.
Thank you, Your Worship. I too have first quarter reports, but I will be calling upon other people, through Your Worship, to present those. So first up for the PCRC and Suda Kachicha, I will call upon the Executive Director of the PCRC.
Thank you. Our local immigration partnership program had a number of events this past quarter, and we saw our long-term coordinator, Mitch Tilk, hand over the role to Malika Pruthi, and she's really stepped into the role with a lot of enthusiasm and lots of great new ideas, and got to spend 2 days and then some surprise meetings with Mitch through the past month, so we're happy with that. We saw our youth hub. They hosted a number of programs, some highlight programs, chess night, which has been very popular. Typically about 12 youth are there. Muay Thai and open gym, we see around 8 every single week there. We held a Valentine's Day workshop where youth made Valentines for whoever they wanted, and we had about 15 participants. We heard feedback from the community that caregivers and different youth wanted to feel safer in the space, and they weren't sure if a 13-year-old was in the space, would it be okay if there was 25-year-olds in the space? So we've limited our programming to different age cohorts, and that's going well. So we've typically seen a large number of younger youth presenting for programming, and then a lot of the older youth in their 20s for one-on-one support and different appointments. So we haven't seen it as a huge issue within the space, but we want to maintain that publicly, that we are working on that and want everyone to feel safe in the space. We have a number of great initiatives unveiling this spring. Our reno is ahead of schedule and going really well over at 1200 Saskatchewan Avenue, and we're excited for the unveiling in June. We had our Winterfest program run with 7 partner organizations, and over 270 people attended that publicly. We had our International Women's Day luncheon with partners, and over 80 people attended that. We have recently wrapped up our small grants program for the year of 2025-2026, and so we granted out the entire $37,500 to local organizations. So we received 18 applications and approved 11 of those applications in different amounts. And so we funded projects like the Holiday Avenue Light Up Royal Road South, Youth for Christ after school programming at the door, and Portage Friendship Center's men's drum group. Our Wowokia program has continued to be very busy. So they're currently supporting 18 files, and of their year-end reporting for end of March of 2026, they saw a 92% reduction of calls for service from RCMP in their clients, and 75% of clients reported that they felt like they had increased opportunities because of the work that they did with Wowokia. And 90% of children and youth participants remained with parents. So we're very happy with those stats. And our Reaching Home team and intensive case management team housed 8 individuals and then dependents on top of that over the past quarter. And they had about 20 new cases per month during that time. So they also helped with ID support, food security, and different resources during that time as well. Our Indigenous Seniors Resource Program supports 17 different seniors right now, and they've been busy with yard care, recreation support, and they're currently working on a gardening initiative. So they have 80 seed starters around the office, and we'll give them out to their clients soon. For capacity building, we have team members who have done different trainings, and we were approved for 5 summer students this year. And then our Suda-Cachicha Coalition has been busy with attending different cultural events, and they have been working on providing funding for different resources in our community that urban Indigenous people regularly access, like the soup kitchens. They also supported Louis Riel Day, and MMF Local is very engaged in that planning and execution every year. So we were very happy to provide that partnership for the first time this year. They were also involved in the spring equinox event that saw 100 people attend. And they also funded a mural at the Portage Library, and we were really happy with how that turned out. And Annie Beach was the artist with that. And that concludes my report. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'd just like to sort of mention Mitch here, because Mitch was our PLIP coordinator for quite some time, and I think what people should know about the Local Immigration Partnership Program is that the thing that's great about that program is that coordinators or communities can sort of make it what they want it to be for what fits in their community. And I think when I think of Mitch, and I've had the chance to tell him this, is I think one of the best legacies that he's left is the work he did with our community-based cultural associations, right? He helped them get started and move forward on their own. And I think we've seen our community change and be enhanced because of that, because you see more events put on and more partnerships together. So I think he will be missed, and I know he'll be around, but he'll be missed. And he should just be very proud of that piece of what he did with PLIP, for sure, for our community. Thank you. Councillor Espy.
Thank you, Worship, and I agree. Mitch was excellent in that role, and he will certainly be missed. Next up is the first quarter report, and through your Worship, I'd like to call upon the Youth Councillor to present that.
Thank you. For activities completed this quarter, it would be attending City Council meetings, as well as attending the Portage Chamber State of Province lunch with Council, as well as Premier Canoe. And for activities begun this quarter, I started organizing a meet and greet event with City Council, as well as the Portage Youth Hub for an event in PCI, just so like the students can understand who the city councilors are, as well as what they do, and kind of know and figure out, as well as understand what the Portage Youth Hub has to offer them, like the resources the Portage Youth Hub offers the students. For goals for next quarter, it would be hosting the council meet and greet lunch event at PCI in April, working with the Portage Youth Hub to facilitate a feedback session from the youth to identify issues that are important to them and summarizing these themes and reporting them back to council, as well as like creating a brief survey for youth to gather more feedback from a broader range of students. And with this feedback provided, I start planning for its implementation. Like if there's an event that they really like, I try my best to see if I can plan it for them. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Espy.
Thank you, Worship, and that concludes the first quarter reports from the Community Services Committee.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, Public Safety Committee, Councillor Doyle.
Thank you, Your Worship. Under new businesses this evening, I also have quarterly reports that I will not be reading, but I will get the reports from others within the room, and we will start with both bylaw enforcement and CSO, and I will ask our Community Safety Manager, Caitlin Sandin, to come to the mic.
Good morning, Your Worship, Council and all others here. Give me 1 sec to just get my papers set up here. Unfortunately, our bylaw enforcement manager was unable to attend today, so on his behalf, I will read the report in. So the first quarter summary for our bylaw enforcement includes bylaw enforcement, animal control, and our animal retention facility. First quarter showing traffic fines issued 158. Animals impounded, cats were 45, there were 19 dogs, 61 full days worked, along with bylaw calls for service exponentially increasing from our first quarter at 528. And our animal control calls for service as well, exponentially increasing from our first quarter last year to 217 this year. So moving into our bylaw complaints and a bit more of a breakdown. The first quarter totals, as I spoke of, were 528. Some of the higher noted offenses that we looked at were illegally parked vehicles coming in at 236 and traffic violations coming in at 72. I won't go through all of them, but those were some that were a little more noted, as well as unsightly properties at 107. For our animal control, spring has arrived and kittens have also begun arriving. So Kitten Rescue of Winnipeg has helped substantially with our animal control. They were able to take over 15 cats plus kittens from the care of our bylaw department. Numbers are on a continued rise, unfortunately, as the weather does continue to warm up. The first quarter saw 6 puppies surrendered or not claimed in the first few weeks. However, all have received new homes, which is lovely. The city's free licensing period started and ended with the quarter, but animal control still urges the public to ensure their animals are vaccinated and licensed, as rabies and parvo is seeing an increase all over the province. Onto our animal control complaint breakdown as well. We're looking at, again, 180 calls in total, with some of the more noted ones of impounded animals making up 50 of those, and animals loose on the street making up 43. Lastly, our animal retention facility, no real significant changes at our facility. Repairs were made to 2 of the kennels, but repairs have made all of those functioning again, and they are still working on our isolation room. And that concludes the report for bylaw enforcement.
Thank you. Just remind everybody to get your cats and dogs spayed and neutered. We're lucky to have a new veterinary clinic in Portage la Prairie, located on Saskatchewan Avenue, called Prairie Vet.
Okay, and moving on to the community safety first quarter report. Calls for service this quarter were largely driven by suspicious activity, having been 47 calls, and theft-related occurrences being 25 calls. Additional activities included well-being concerns, which was 16, and trespass offenses, which were 14. So bylaw mischief and traffic-related calls remained consistent, alongside a steady number of intoxicated persons calls. Overall, the call volume increased from 108 calls in 2025's first quarter to 180 calls this quarter, with notable increases in suspicious activity, theft, and well-being related concerns. Again, like I always mention, it doesn't mean things are getting worse, it's just a proactive presence. With operations, the increase in activity reflected a continued focus on proactive patrols and visibility, particularly in response to property concerns and then also those theft-related offenses as well. Patrol presence remains a key factor in both identifying suspicious activity and supporting deterrence efforts within the community. Officers maintained a consistent approach to bylaw and provincial statute enforcement, while also responding to a wide range of well-being and assistance-based concerns. These interactions often involve supporting individuals and connecting them with those appropriate resources as we see fit and as we can. Collaboration with partner agencies remains ongoing, including support to the RCMP when required and coordination of training opportunities with our bylaw enforcement and other agencies to enhance enforcement capacity altogether. Our mindset at this point is we're all on the same team. Overall, operations continue to balance enforcement responsibilities with that community engagement and those preventative measures. For staffing, our complement remains consistent. We did recently hire CSO Constantine Reger, who has filled the recently vacant position. We are back up to full staff at this point, consisting of 6 full-time officers, 1 part-time, and again, 1 manager. Hours of operation have remained unchanged and are still between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. The current fleet and equipment inventory also remains unchanged. Planning is still underway for the implementation of additional equipment, including our body-worn cameras and our in-car laptops, which was mentioned earlier. These are currently in the supposed education and procurement process. It does take a little while to get these things going. These enhancements are expected to support our operational efficiency, documentation, and most importantly, our officers' safety. For public relations, our CSOs continue to prioritize community engagement and public education. Those are things that we are very, very big on. During this reporting period, officers completed the following. So continued support to our Holiday Avenue project, continued traffic safety, participation in I Love to Read Month, just to bridge those communication gaps with local schools and daycares. Delivered several educational sessions regarding safety, whether that was with schools or just other businesses associated. These initiatives ultimately support the community's awareness, strengthen the relationships that we have, and promote the proactive practices going forward. Projects and initiatives. The department continues to focus on strengthening our internal processes, enhancing our delivery, and also supporting the long-term development of the department as a whole. So some of our key priorities going forward are transitioning into our newly acquired office space. That will be coming sooner than later. Again, our idea of hiring an administrative support position will be great. Continued development of our operational procedures in general. And advancing our equipment implementation, so body-worn camera, mobile technology, and those things. Ongoing efforts continue to emphasize community outreach, interagency collaboration, and then consistent enforcement aligned with our municipal and provincial authorities. In closing, our program continues to provide that visible and responsive presence within the community as we've promised, and through a combination of enforcement, proactive patrol, and engagement, the program is still committed to the community's safety and contributes to the well-being of City of Portage. Efforts will remain focused on maintaining service levels, strengthening partnerships, and adapting to evolving community needs. And that concludes that.
Thank you. Councillor Porter?
I just have a question. So that increase from this quarter, from last quarter, would that be maybe because your times went longer, like you had to change times?
Yeah, I mean that's very possible. I believe so. Last year was 108. This year it's 180. Like you said, we've expanded our times. We've also added more officers, which gives them more space to be in different areas. And also, I think just the awareness in general is part of that too.
Exactly, and I guess all those incidents or mischief and whatever other calls don't stop at 4:30, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, great job. So when we went on our tours with our business walks, that's one of the things I heard from a lot of the businesses that your faces were out there and you were walking along and stopping in, and they were thankful for that, and they thought that really helped them out a lot with people not going into their businesses much, or hanging out. And So they very much appreciated the CSO program because they were there lots of times to help them out. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Doyle?
Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you to our Community Safety Manager, Caitlin, for that report. I'll just add in there that last week at our AMM conference, a couple people had referred to our CSO program as the model of effective and efficiency within the CSO program in Manitoba. So thank you for that. You make our council look good. You make me look good. So thank you. I would like to call up our Deputy Fire Chief, Ryan Thompson, to give a first quarter report from the Portage Fire Department.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. Q1 for Portage Fire Department. PFD responded to 118 calls in the city and the surrounding area in Q1, ranging from alarm conditions via commercial, residential, some building fires, auto fires, CO alarms. We had a medical, we had motor vehicle collisions, extrication, and some other smoke odor calls that total, like I mentioned, 118 calls. We have moved on with a new mission statement for Portage Fire Department, which we established at the end of 2025, which is installed at our fire station in the hallway, and that goes as follows. We have Portage la Prairie Fire Department, trusted and united, leads with respect and professionalism, delivering responsive and effective fire, rescue, and prevention services to all members of our community. So we felt that that obviously is a very good representation of our community and how we did that. So just wanted to thank council. Last year, we purchased a new Spartan pumper through the city of Dauphin. That was now in service, obviously, we put that in service in February of this year, which then leads to old Engine 3, which is on our city website now for bidding requests. That closes at the end of May, and that's for our 2005 E1 pumper. We also have a tender that was won and awarded through Seahawk. That's for our wildland truck, which will be our F350. We're hoping to have that arriving in August. We have the Mini, which is our F550. Just talking with Seahawk today. We're hoping to have this truck back. I'm really hopeful this week. It was at the decal stage last Thursday, so hopefully that will be completed and we have that back. Other than that, everything else is relatively the same at the fire hall. We have our side-by-side ATV that was, and along with another smaller ATV that just wanted to compliment our crews there at the station that went above and beyond and put the emergency lighting on all the apparatus. And it, as we respond now to these grass fires that are eventually coming up, we'll be well informed when we're out there in the public. So other than that, thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you. Any questions? Councillor Massey?
Thank you, Your Worship, and welcome, Deputy Fire Chief Thompson. I don't have a question, but I just want to say that this is the first time since I've been on council to see the fire department here with us, and it's so great. I want to thank you for doing that. We all get asked questions, about fire. It's a big topic, and I just want to thank and how important you and your staff are in our community with the public, and now that you're here in open council giving us this report, and I hope it continues because it's such a key part of our community. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Councillor Doyle?
Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, Deputy Chief Thompson, for that report. And now, last but not least, I will call up Staff Sergeant Turco to give his first quarter report from the RCMP.
Full on Staff Sergeant, not acting this
Acting
time.
Inspector, no.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So our stats this quarter, we had 1,919 calls, so almost 2,000 calls. We're up 143, and I can blame the CSOs, not blame them. That's actually a good thing. So they're taking a lot of those calls that we may not have members to attend right away, or intoxicated people in the area who then go home and cause other issues, which will lead to criminal charges. So that's good. Property crimes went down 10. Attempted theft of motor vehicles went down 7. Our break-inners went down 8. Our mischiefs is the big one. It went up 83. And again, it's people stealing from our vehicles. We caught one today, actually just in behind City Hall here. During the day, just basically scouting around looking for stuff to steal. I think he had broke into 2 cars before we finally caught him. Someone seen him doing it and called it in, so which is good. Traffic violations is up 317. So what that's stemming from is we've asked our traffic services out of Henley and Brandon to come this area. So they're obviously showing what they're doing. So wear your seatbelts, stay off your cell phones, because they will give everyone a ticket. There's no breaks for them. Impaired driving has also gone up by 14. Can't figure out why that would go up with the taxi services around. Again, it's concerning. We're getting calls every day. We had one at 9 o'clock this morning for an impaired driver that we got off the road. So, good news is we're almost fully staffed. We're still short a few people. We've had 5 recent cadets start, and actually a 6th start on Thursday, and they're all living in the city of Portage. So renting, a couple of bought houses. So I want to again say good work by the CSOs. Their visibility. It's a lot of times if we're in the area, we'll let them know, and then they'll call us and say, yeah, this guy's over a block over. So it's good work by both teams there. Shoplifting, we obviously had an issue with shoplifting for a while. We did a couple projects. We arrested some of our regular clients, prolific offenders, and it was a continual issue. A lot of them are still in custody, which is good. We finally got a crown out of Winnipeg that just deals with property crime. So he was able to hold them in custody, which helped our stats. Portage School Division, we're doing active threat lockdowns throughout the year, and we just recently did one in McGregor, which went really well. But also in the city of Portage, we've done quite a few. So the only other thing I'm mentioning is you guys all know Larry Neufeld. He's retiring in June, so he'll be done here shortly. He's on the countdown. I think he's got 28 days left or something. I believe that was it. Yeah, that was pretty much it for what we have reporting right now.
Thank you. I just wanted to mention I've had a couple of citizens tell me that they are very thrilled to see the local Facebook RCMP page. Yep, they said, just happy to see that communication coming out. So, I mean, I think that's a great addition for sure. And then I just can't help but say, saw the news the other day about the terrible domestic violence incident in our community, and just need to say, if you know somebody in trouble or you suspect somebody's in trouble, don't be afraid to ever reach out in those situations.
And that's, like I said, CSOs are helping because that leads someone outside impaired or intoxicated. It usually leads to something else. So if they can stop that ahead of time, it helps us and helps the domestic violence too. So
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, Staff Sergeant, for your report. I'm glad to hear that the number of members are coming up. That's very, very encouraging. One very discouraging stat is the impaired. I still don't know how that number is not at 0. I mean, I'm glad you're catching them, and I'm glad that the traffic violations have also gone up, which means that people that are breaking the rules are getting caught now. So, but the impaired driving, people need to give their head a shake and stop doing that. So, I appreciate the report, and thank you very much.
Sorry, and a reminder, mandatory. We get a lot of complaints, but it's mandatory screening devices. So if you get stopped, be prepared. You're probably going to get an instrument put in your face to blow into it. So that's what a lot of times we don't know people are impaired. You put that in there and they're failing just for whatever reason. So
good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We have no items of old business, so we will adjourn council at 7:09 p.m. and we will move right into committee. Call committee to order at 7:10 p.m. Finance, Legislative, and Property Committee, Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Your Worship and colleagues. I have a few quick updates I'd like to give council. On April 14th, as you know, we did our lobby days. I know the mayor will be talking about that, but I want to highlight I was at a meeting with the mayor and Reeve Tufford with the Minister of Health regarding the closing or the temporary delay in our hospital. We had a very good meeting, and I was there as the chair of the hospital foundation, and I was pleased the mayor invited me to the meeting, and I think we had a good discussion, and I think at the end of the day, it was reported in the media, the results of our meeting, but I think at the end of the day, we're getting a beautiful new hospital now. It's state of the art, and I really appreciated the minister's frankness with us and openness, and hopefully we'll continue the dialogue. I know the foundation was pleased when I talked to some of the board members about the meeting. So that was that. I attended the Chamber of Commerce District Luncheon, great event again. The state of our district, I was very pleased to hear the reports from the mayor, Reeve Tufford, Southport, PCRC, all the groups, and I just sat there and I thought, wow, there's a lot going on in this region, a lot, and I think all those organizations should be very proud, and I think our mayor represented our city very well on that. I attended the AMM Spring Conference, and it's not my first rodeo with AMM, but I just give my own 2 cents for what it's worth. The one thing I noticed this year at the AMM, and I go to those things and I just talk to people, it seems that's all I enjoy doing that, but Portage la Prairie came up all the time, right from, the getting the practitioners. The Hospital Foundation funded the apartments. Portage la Prairie was mentioned. Some of the work we do with the RM and how we get along as a region. Just everywhere, Portage is sort of in the buzz of the convention. So I thought that was really good to hear. And people I talk to are pretty open with me and how they feel often, and very complimentary about the Portage and the region and what we're doing here. So it was a good. I probably heard it more this time than I've ever heard. So. Attended the opening. It was mentioned at Portage Common, 1525 Saskatchewan Avenue. Great event. The speeches were great. Boy, if Canada could work like that, I'll tell you. We had cooperation of the city. We had with the First Nation and the developer, and just a great project. It was very nice to be there as a member of council. I attended the proclamation of the early childhood proclamation in the mayor's office. Thank you for the invite, and great to see those early childhood people who do such great work in our community, and it was great to be there to recognize them. On Saturday, I attended a library barbecue fundraiser on behalf of, as a board member, and great fundraiser. It was a cold morning, I can tell you, but we had a very successful, 2 hours, it was just steady. So it was great to see that, and great to see the library taking the initiative and wanting not only to get out in the community, but to do some fundraising for the work of the library. And this morning I attended Habitat for Humanity groundbreaking. I know some of my colleagues will also be here and probably have their own thoughts. It was a great event to see the 14th home in Portage for the Habitat for Humanity. And our Deputy Mayor Doyle spoke at it. It was a great event, I thought, for our community. So those were my activities as a councillor since last council. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. City Planning and Economic Development, Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a couple of things tonight in committee. One is that I don't know if you know I had a granddaughter. So I just wanted to kind of back on to Councillor Massey's comments about the ECE proclamation. Unfortunately, wasn't able to make it, but now that I do see a little bit more, and when you're involved in the daycare system, whether it be your own child, grandchildren, whatever it may be, you just really see the importance of the role that these people play, and just to see the work that they do and everything else, and was really glad to see that actually happen. Secondly, under tourism, I just want to take an opportunity to congratulate the Prairie Unity Powwow Committee. A number of us had the opportunity to attend the Manitoba Tourism Awards last Thursday night. And the Powwow Committee was recognized as a finalist for 2 of the major honors. This was the 4th annual Manitoba Tourism Awards, and that took place, of course, on April the 23rd at the Convention Center in Winnipeg. Now, while they didn't take home the top prize in their categories, the committee expressed immense pride in being among the province's elite. I think there was 480 people there, if I'm not mistaken. 470 people there, and it was just an amazing night. For the Prairie Unity Powwow Committee, which many around this table actually sit on, their nominations included the Indigenous Tourism Event of the Year, and that was for the inaugural event held at Stride Place that successfully bridged the cultural gaps in the Central Plains region. And then the Social Impact Award that they were nominated for as well, and that was for demonstrating a strong commitment to positive social outcomes and fostering inclusivity. So in talking to some of them and upon reflection, they shared that it was an honor to be in the circle with so many incredible people doing meaningful work, and stated that no matter the outcome, they were celebrating the moment, and by golly, they did. It was a great night, and leaving it on a little bit of a mic drop, as they also hinted at a big announcement for 2026 following the participation in the awards gala, and I'll leave that up to the committee to talk about that. So thank you, Your Worship. Very well deserved.
Thank you. Okay, Community Services Committee, Councillor SB.
Thank you, Your Worship. I also attended a number of events, and they've all been mentioned, so I won't go too far into them, but I will say that I did talk to one of the powwow committee members that was not in attendance with us, and they expressed to me that whether we were the winner or not, we won.
Very true. Thank you. Waterworks Committee, Councillor Nichols.
Thank you, Your Worship. Waterworks Committee has nothing to report, but, you know, as we talk about some of what we've been through since our last meeting where we've been in as councillors, I'm reflecting on the conference and you know, just to add on to what Joe called, and I had it written down here as Portage la Prairie presence, because I feel that Portage was mentioned many, many times, so thanks for that, Councillor Massey. In reflecting and looking back at the conference, you know, it was in Brandon last week from the 20th to 24th. There was up towards 500 registrants, and it really, they seem to spend a fair bit of time on giving thanks to folks that, you know, this is the end of their term and they're maybe not running in next election. So that was very thoughtful, and, you know, there was a lot of information around that. Just some of the notes that I made, our CEO, Nicole Chakota, she wore her hat very well in terms of, and very, very well in MMA president, and give us a wonderful update and speech on where we were at with that group. Well done. City Caucus was, I always enjoy that piece. It was nice to see where our cities are in Manitoba, you know, their updates, where they are today. You can gain a lot of insight in how they're doing things, and you know, and we shared how we were, where we were at in terms of our cities throughout Manitoba. I really enjoyed that. Two keynote speakers that I found very engaging, and terrific messages left by both Michael Landsberg, who doesn't need any introduction, and Dr. Shauna Pandya, like just an amazing speaker. And yeah, do yourself a favor and search her and follow her, and it's just unbelievable. Numerous workshops that were available to attend, vary with today and where they are and where we're going. There was probably 8 or 10 in total that you could pick from, and I know that our council found their ways to ones that were meaningful and, you know, in perspective, and you know, there was something you want to learn. There was lots there to pick from. I'd like to give thanks to the administration and our CAO to make sure that, you know, we were registered. It's into the programs that we wanted to be, where we needed to be, and that's it's a big task. And, you know, this goes special thanks to that group, because they make things happen and get us in the places where we need to be, and everything always just seems to be so wonderfully done. I speak on behalf of council. I very much appreciate it. You know, and thanks to not only the city of Brandon, but special thanks to the Keystone Center for working with Councillor Doyle over here, who was a wonderful hat as a director with AMM, and putting this conference on to, you know, in conjunction with his colleagues in his group that go tirelessly about this every spring and fall. And I really enjoyed the content, how it was, and how it was laid out for the 2 days, and very much appreciated. So thank you, Councillor Doyle, for your work there. Much appreciated. And that kind of gives, if anyone's got any perspective or adds to that, that's where I'm at. And I very much enjoyed this conference. I found it very, very, very informative.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Transportation Committee, Councillor Porter.
Thank you, Your Worship. I too attended a lot of open houses and ribbon cuttings since the last meeting, and I know as council we thoroughly enjoy going to them. I get this constantly all the time that people say, you know what, wow, there's a whole pile of you here. It's nice to see all of you, and then we always have a large percentage that show up. So, but it's also appreciated that we are invited. The other thing is AMM. Yes, there was a lot of great workshops. One of the things is you never stop learning. And yes, we are going in our final year, but we're just starting to feel comfortable with a lot of the things that we're doing nowadays. And times are changing too. So there's going to be a lot of changes in the next few years too. So you always have to keep up on all these workshops because they always offer more newer things like hydro. I attended one of hydro. Different things for doing hydro. We have to look at different ways of doing things to conserve energy and save money. So I thought that was an interesting one. But anyway, so what I'm here to right now, I just want to bring up a couple things on transportation. And this year's spring waste collection program begins on Monday, April 27th, which is today, and will run for 4 collection cycles. Yard waste must be placed at the curb on your regular collection day, no later than 7 o'clock a.m. I believe May 22nd is the last collection day. That's a Friday. There is no limit to the number of bags that may be set out for collection. However, each bag must not exceed 40 pounds. Yard waste must be placed in clear plastic refuse bags or compostable brown paper bags, which are available at retail outlets. So it's either plastic or the paper. I don't think they're going to allow you to use your garbage cans, your old garbage cans. And color bags will not be collected. Yard waste includes leaves, grass, and garden waste, but does not include tree trimmings. And those tree trimmings can be dropped off at the tree site there on the way up to Southport, and it's behind I believe there's the burning site. It's behind that little cemetery, correct? Yep. Okay, and so the other thing is spring cleaning is underway, and crews will be working through our seasonal Saskatchewan Avenue cleanup, the street sweeping program, the pavement repairs and beautification efforts across parks, walking paths, cemeteries, and other public places. Slow down and please follow all posted traffic signage to help keep our crews safe. And overnight sweeping operations will focus on priority routes as well as continued cleanup along Saskatchewan Avenue. I just have one other thing to talk about, and this is to do with our Saskatchewan Avenue project. The city of Portage la Prairie was honored to receive the first time and new award, the AC Emmett Award, which was presented by CAA Manitoba in partnership with Manitoba Good Roads Association. Mayor Knox and City Manager Nicole Chakota accepted this award on behalf of the city. This award was given to us for our Saskatchewan Avenue project, and this award recognizes excellence of municipal road safety and infrastructure practices throughout the planning stage, which was all intentional when it was created. It wasn't just by chance that it was a planned adventure by the past and present councils. It is a testament to the dedication and expertise and professionalism of our city staff who work every day to ensure our transportation network is safe, efficient, and sustainable. So the city is proud of this achievement and remains committed to continuous improvement for the benefit of pedestrians, residents, businesses, and visitors. And that's my report.
Thank you. Our award-winning complete street now. Love it. Hopefully multiple soon. No, just kidding. Congratulations to everybody in the operations department for that great Great award. Okay. Community Public Safety, Councillor Doyle.
Thank you, Your Worship. Public Safety Committee would like to report, to remind everyone that the 46th annual Portage Firefighters Burn Fund bike auction is being held at the Fire Hall this Saturday, May the 2nd, starting at 10 a.m. So the bike viewing starts at 9 a.m. and then the auction starts at 10. If you do have a bike that you would like to donate, please contact the Fire Hall and they'll arrange that with you. So this is a big event every year. Lots of bikes, lots of dollars. So it's just a great event for the community, and it's a good way to find a less than retail bike as well if you're looking for one. So the possession date on the new CSO building on Tupper Street South is May the 4th. So a transition period will take place, and an announcement will be made when the operations actually fully take force over there. So until then, it's business as usual within the current office across the street here on Saskatchewan Avenue. As the end of the second month of my role as deputy mayor, I've also been very busy attending lots of various events. One of them was this morning with the kickoff for the Habitat for Humanity build that's going to be happening this year. Wonderful family that I got to meet this morning. The little girl was there with her little shovel to turn some dirt with the rest of us. Unfortunately for me, when I put my shovel in the ground, I hit some gravel, and I had the rest of my council colleagues kind of laughing at the 3/4 of an inch of dirt I turned with that shovel full. But outside of that, I did attend the AMM convention, spring convention last week as well. And I just want to give council a perspective from the AMM side, from the board of directors side. So it is a little bit different in some ways, and in other ways, it is similar. I do miss some of that quality time I get to spend with my council as we stay in different hotels, and maybe we don't eat as many meals together and whatnot. So I do miss you guys in some ways. And I attended my first Mayor's Reeve and CAO's meeting as part of this convention. I'm none of the above, but as a board member, I got to attend that. So got to see Minister Samard talk and Minister Sala talk, and the CEO of Hydro, or COO of Manitoba Hydro was there as well to take questions. So I think they got off easy. The room took it easy on them. Didn't ask too many of those hard questions. But for breakout sessions, I'm familiar with trying to figure out which ones you want to go to. Now I'm told which ones I go to because I have to have some hosting responsibilities as part of that. One of the ones I hosted was by the McAfee group, and it was Tyler McAfee who had given the presentation, and he started his role in this world way back in the day under the direction of Executive Director of AMM, Joe Massey. And so it was quite entertaining just to see the various, well, the most entertaining part was the picture of Joe from many, many years ago. I won't get into any more of that. Yeah, but it's nice that I do have the opportunity from the AMM side. Like I said, I miss you for some of those meals, but I do have a great group of colleagues on the board with AMM who we do have those meals with. And like last fall, we got to have lunch with a bunch of the ministers from the provincial government. So that's a good opportunity to get on a first name basis with the ministers as well. It's beneficial to our community for sure. On Wednesday, we saw, as Councillor Nichols had mentioned, we did see Michael Landsberg speak, and he's from Off the Record with TSN. And, we all know him as that brash, kind of arrogant personality. And it was, Michael Landsberg was someone I saw 2 years ago when I was at the Safety of Our Cities conference in Mississauga. And ever since joining the board of AMM, I have pushed to have him at one of our conventions. So I'm very, very happy that he came to this convention. There were so many delegates who gave such positive feedback about his presentation on mental health, and so many of them said that it was the best speaker that they've ever seen at one of the conferences. So, and I don't disagree. That's why I pushed so hard for him to come, because it really changed my perspective. And then, as Councillor Nichols said, Dr. Shauna Pandya, doctor, neuroscientist, aquanaut, now astronaut, second degree black belt in some sort of martial arts. Just made me think a little less of myself, but that's okay. She was incredible. So my role from the AAM side is a lot different too, because I find myself talking to way more people, a bit more of a public profile now within the organization. And so I do definitely talk to a lot of people. And this year being the last convention prior to the election, there was a send-off reception at the end of the conference for all of those elected officials who know that they will not be putting their names in to run again. And I just thought that was important, because we all know, there's a few of us around this table who are coming up to towards the end of our 4th year. Others have many, many years around this table. And we all know the effort it takes and the hard decisions we have to make. So to recognize those people, whether it was they're bowing out after their 1st term or after their 5th term, I just think it was important to recognize everyone. So kudos to AMM for that. So otherwise, again, I enjoyed myself, and that's about all I have to mention today.
Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. I just wanted to mention Lobby Day. We had a successful Lobby Day at the legislature week before last. Yep. And it was a great partnership between the RM of Portage, Southport, and the city. I think on that day, we certainly worked together as a well-oiled team. We went in with our messages, we stayed on point, and we made some good relationships within the legislature, got our priorities across, and I think we'll see that it will be successful going forward. I just have to give a shout out to our team who arranged that, in particular, Diane Van Aert. I know it was not an easy task, because we had some changes and different date changes, trying to get the ministers scheduled, catering, all of that I think was so important, and just thank you for working your way through these ideas that we have and move forward. And also just thank you to the rest of the team who came to the legislature, helped with everything, and I think we showcased Portage la Prairie region very well from all levels, whether staff, whether elected officials, team members. So thank you for that. Lastly, May is an important month. Can anybody guess why? It's the census. Okay? Census is a very, very important piece of thing you have to do for our community. There's a lot of reasons why it's so important. Some of the funding we get relies on the census. Often the stats that we get from census plays a role into, support that we get for different programs and services in our community. It gives a snapshot of our community. So the more we can get the information out to complete these censuses, I don't know if that's a word, then do that. And also, please, for people who are, say, maybe new to our community, who have not lived here for a long time, don't understand what a census is, take the time to explain it to them. Giving that information and being accurate is important. There's nobody there's no census police that are going to come and say, oh, how many people live in your house, or how many people do that. That information is important. So please make sure that you're helping people fill that out. One last thing is, going back to Councillor Nichols, when you were talking about Rochelle, who makes sure we're going all the right places. I feel that was targeted at me, since I had no clue what hotel I was staying at until somebody told me. So thank you for that. Okay, if nothing else, we'll adjourn committee at 7:34 p.m. Thank you, everyone.